first day of the Chainsaw Mix Game series at Orleans. Things should be kind of wrapping up. Started at 11 a.m., but gotta be ready to deal Omaha 8 when I get in there. By the way, mentioned that this series was upcoming. It was a preview. I mentioned it in the newsletter. Great transition. There you go. This is November's issue of the newsletter. Table of contents right there. Zoomed in table of contents, some quotes from the tables, expenses, and self-tracking stats. Kept track of some stats while I've been dealing. Hands per down, also hands per hour, hands per any amount of time you want to make it. The next issue of the newsletter will have more stats that relate to those. I will, in December, publish those other stats and give a summary of what was going on. In addition, December's newsletter will have a segment that's never before seen. All right, they finished building this tunnel on the bridge so I can walk back to my car today. Also, I think this is going to be a 1 of 4 video series, the last 4 days of this work week, starting today. Give you some updates on what went on in the mixed game series and other things that happened at work, and then play MGM after. Plan on getting all my MGM hours this week. This weekend, I have things planned. It's not that I can't play MGM. I don't think I will. And then there's only 1 weekend left until the winter series starts, and I probably won't even have time between like Thanksgiving and Christmas to play. So, plan on getting the MGM hours this week. See if it happens. Just walked in. Omaha 8 tournament, first tournament of the series. 68 entries, it's down to 23. 11 get paid. The 7 p.m. tournament's also going on, and 3 1-3 no limit cash games are going on. So gotta get dressed and get out there, and I'll take a picture of the tournament clock with the payouts and everything at some point, and I'll show you later. All right, on break. Things are winding down. Been dealing for a while. 7 p.m. tournament, no limit ended. 10 p.m. tournament is down to 1 table, 4 players. Here's the picture, by the way, when I got a chance to take the picture. The Omaha 8, event 1 of the Chainsaw series, is down to, now it's down to the final table at the time, whatever is on the screen. I think it's 6-handed on the final table, and 3 cash games are going. So we normally, now that it's shortly after midnight, we normally close at 2 a.m. We're staying open as long as the Omaha 8 tournament is going, because they're not coming back for a day 2, they're playing down to a winner. So everything else is eligible to continue playing as long as that's going on. So that's cool. I don't know, anything else? I dealt the No Limit tournament, dealt the Omaha 8. Yeah, tomorrow Omaha 8 stud 8, gotta be ready to deal some stud 8. And yeah, been dealing everything. Right now I'm on break brush, and I think that's gonna do it. Oh, Big Intellectual brought the bubble guns, like at Poker Palace, link at the top if you missed it. And we tested it out yesterday. We didn't use it officially. We tested it, it worked. There were 2 guns and a lot of bottles of the bubble liquid. We left them in 2 different places. And I worked yesterday until 6:30 a.m. Came in today and no one could find them. Like, no one knows. We've been texting people who aren't here. We've been asking people who are here. Been looking all over. I don't know what happened to them. There's no way a janitor threw them out. They were in a box on the floor next to a garbage pail for 2.5 days while I had my weekend, and it stayed there. So like, no, the janitors aren't just taking things near garbages and throwing them out. I don't know what happened to them. I'm trying to figure it out. If we never find them, I'll buy stuff and then keep better. I'll hide them better. Or I'll just bring them with me and leave with them every time I come in for work. One thing was where it was for 2.5 days, and we took one of the guns and put it behind a computer. You barely even notice it's there. Someone noticed and put it somewhere else. I don't know what happened to it, trying to figure it out, but we plan on using it just like Poker Palace did. I gotta get back out there now. All right, clocked out. There was some confusion as to whether or not we were closing at 2. We could stay open, things are going on. The tournament ended right before 2. I think they made a deal 3-handed, I'm not sure. The last time I looked at the board, they said there were 3 players left. I heard someone say ICM. I don't know. I think Jake was one of those final 3. He watches the videos. Shout out to Scott. He was on my penultimate table. That's right, penultimate, in your face, Herbs and Rye. And yeah, I was there. So I was on that table, and then it was 1:30. and no one said go home. Like, there's no point to being on break from 1:30 to 2 and then we close at 2. No one sent me home. I asked around, were we closing? No one said yeah. So I thought we were staying open for at least a half hour more, and no. I pushed in to table 2 at like 3 minutes to 2 o'clock, and then I was told we were closing. So, all right, so gonna head to MGM. I don't know, play like somewhere between an hour and like 2, I guess. Just getting these last 6, and at the end of the week, at some point, I will ask them to calculate in Bravo how many hours I have, because it's been an estimate for like months. Really confused what happened to that bubble gun. Took it out of the box. There were 2. We tested one. We put them in different places. They're both gone. And yeah, I don't know where it could possibly be. There's no way the janitor threw it away by accident. It was sitting on the floor next to the garbage pail for 2.5 days between when it was dropped off and when I worked next. So I doubt all of a sudden on like day 3 the janitor threw it out. I don't know what happened to it. I'll try to ask around some more. If not, I'll buy one and I'll just bring it with me and take it with me when I leave every time from now on. All right, I'm here. An hour would be solid. What is that, like 4 orbits? Something like that. All right, played not that long. Played about an hour. We did have a double board bomb pod. Guy had a flush on both boards. Interesting. It was debatable whether this was going to happen at all. I think people wanted to do it, just like no one was really like thinking about it when the dealers changed. Dealer talks people into it and then gets an attitude when it takes a while. Oh wow, a double board PLO bomb pod with half the table being drunk takes a while. Who would have thought? And then she berates seat 6 for taking too long to act. Whatever. Parked over there or somewhere. Anyway, you know what the move might be? Rest of the week. It's getting really ridiculous with F1 stuff. I think park here, take the monorail to the over here. Take the monorail to the Link weight room, and then walk, which I normally do, to PH, and then after work, walk here, which isn't that long, PH to MGM, and my car will be here, and I think that limits how long I'm in the traffic and the road closures. I don't know. It's an option. Anyway, day 1 is done. Day 1 of the mixed game series and day 1 of this video series. The ones are done. Glad you enjoyed the video. If you would like even more poker, travel, and Las Vegas content, feel free to go to my Patreon page. There are 3 ways to get there. 1 is to type the URL that you've been seeing at the bottom of the screen into your browser. A second way is if you go to my YouTube homepage, next to my icon picture, there is a link to my Patreon page. The third way is to watch any video of mine. Go into the description box below the video, and you'll see the link to my Patreon page. Once you're on my Patreon homepage, you could click on membership, and you could sign up to be a paid member. The first 7 days are free. It's $5 a month after that. In addition to the free post every Monday, you will have access to the exclusive newsletter published on the first Tuesday of every month. It's a monthly newsletter. Or you could go back to my Patreon homepage and you could just click on shop. If there's a table of contents that you find very interesting that I show at the beginning of a video and you just want to read that one newsletter, you could go to my Patreon homepage, click on shop, and each newsletter is individually available for a one-time purchase for $7. Thanks everybody for supporting the brand.